Imagine this. It's Monday morning. Your alarm goes off at 6:15 a.m. You roll over, grab your phone, and before you even get out of bed, you open your bank app. You do this every single morning because you have to. Not because you want to. Because you're scared of what you might see. And there it is. $47. $47. That's all you have until Friday. And it's only Monday. Your rent is due this Friday. Your electric bill is 2 weeks overdue. Your kid needs new shoes for school. And your car is making that noise again. That grinding noise you've been ignoring for 3 weeks because you already know you can't afford to fix it. You close the app. You get up. You get dressed. You go to work. Because you have a job. A full-time job. You work 40 hours a week, sometimes 50. You're not lazy. You're not irresponsible. You show up every single day. And somehow, at the end of it all, you've got $47 in your bank account on a Monday morning. Does any part of that story sound familiar? Because if it does, I need you to know something right now. You are not alone. Not even close. A shocking 78% of American workers live paycheck to paycheck. Let that number really land. Not the homeless population. Not the unemployed. Not people who have given up. Workers. Employed, working, income-earning Americans, 78% of them are one missed paycheck away from a financial crisis. So what is going on? How is this possible in the richest country in the history of the world? How are people working full-time jobs and still drowning? Is it laziness? Is it stupidity? Is it bad luck? No, and no. It is a system. A very carefully designed, very intentional system. And today, we are going to take that system apart piece by piece. I'm going to show you 7 specific reasons why 80% of Americans stay broke their entire lives. And for every single reason, I'm going to give you the exact fix, the real, practical, doable steps that can change your financial life starting today. Stay with me until the end. Because the last section of this video, the 90-day escape plan, is worth more than anything you learned in school about money. Which, by the way, was probably nothing. And that brings us to reason number 1. Before we get into the reasons, I want to show you just how widespread this problem is. Because sometimes people think they're uniquely bad with money. They think everyone else has it figured out. They look at their coworkers and their neighbors and assume those people are fine. They're not. Here is what the data actually shows. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's from a Forbes study published in 2024. The median American savings account balance is just $1,200. That means half of all Americans have less than $1,200 saved. Not $12,000. Not $120,000. $1,200. 56% of Americans say they could not cover an unexpected $1,000 expense without borrowing money or going into debt. Think about that. More than half of the country is one car repair, one hospital visit, one broken furnace away from financial disaster. Total U.S. consumer debt, that includes credit cards, car loans, student loans, personal loans, has crossed $17 trillion. And the average credit card interest rate right now is 27.65%. Not 5%, not 10%, 27.65%. And here's the number that really gets me. The top 1% of Americans own more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. The bottom 50% of Americans own just 2.5% of the country's total wealth. Now, I'm not telling you these numbers to depress you. I'm telling you them because you need to understand the scale of what we're dealing with. This is not a personal failing. This is a national crisis. And it is being driven by specific, identifiable, fixable causes. Let's go through every single one of them. Here is the cold, uncomfortable truth about your financial struggles. And I want you to really hear this. It is not your fault that you don't know what you don't know. Think back to your time in school. You spent 12 years in the American education system. You learned how to solve quadratic equations that you have never once used in adult life. You memorized the dates of every major battle in the Civil War. You learned about photosynthesis. You learned how to diagram a sentence. But did anyone ever sit you down and teach you how to read a pay stub? Did anyone explain what FICA taxes are and where that money goes? Did any teacher walk you through what happens to your money when you put it in a savings account versus a brokerage account? Did anyone explain the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA, and why the choice between them could literally cost or save you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime? Did anyone explain compound interest in a way that made you feel both excited and terrified? Did anyone teach you that credit card companies make billions of dollars every year specifically because most people don't understand how interest works? No, they didn't. And that's not an accident. 45 out of 50 states in America do not require a personal finance class to graduate high school. You can spend 13 years in the American public education system and graduate without ever once being taught the foundational skills you need to survive and thrive as a financial adult in this country. And then you turn 18. You get your first real paycheck and you don't understand why half of it is already gone before you even see it. You get a credit card offer in the mail and it sounds amazing. Rewards points, cash back, no annual fee for the first year. And nobody warned you about the 26% interest rate hiding in the fine print. You get your first apartment, and you have no idea what renter's insurance is or whether you need it. You start your first real job and HR asks you to fill out your 401k enrollment form and you just stare at it. What's a contribution rate? What's a vesting schedule? What does it mean to be invested in large cap growth funds versus bonds? You guess. You pick something. You move on. And you never think about it again. Until you're 45 years old and you realize you've been leaving your employer's matching contributions on the table for 20 years. That's tens of thousands of dollars gone because nobody taught you. This is the first and most foundational reason why 80% of Americans are broke. Not stupidity. Not laziness, ignorance, the kind that was deliberately never corrected. So here is your fix. You are going to become financially self-educated, and you are going to do it on purpose. Not because school failed you, but because your future depends on it. Start with 2 books. First read, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. It is simple, it is practical, and it will give you the foundational mindset shift you need. Second read, I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. It is written for millennials and younger adults, and it covers everything from automating your finances to negotiating your salary. After that, spend 30 minutes every single day consuming financial education. YouTube, podcasts, books, whatever format works for you. Channels like Graham Stephan, Andre Jick, and The Plain Bagel break down complex financial concepts in plain English. The Khan Academy has a completely free personal finance course. Investopedia is like a dictionary for every financial term you've ever been confused by. Here is the thing about financial education that most people miss. It compounds just like money does. Every concept you learn connects to the next one. After 90 days of consistent learning, you will understand more about personal finance than the vast majority of Americans. After 1 year, you'll be in the top 10% of financial literacy in this country. That knowledge will be worth more to you over your lifetime than almost any other investment you make. Let me ask you a question. Think about the last raise you got at work, or the last time your income went up for any reason. Maybe you got promoted, picked up more hours, started a side hustle, or moved to a higher paying job. Now think carefully. After your income went up, did your savings rate go up, or did your spending go up? For most people, the honest answer is, my spending went up. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. New phone, because the old one was getting slow. Nicer apartment, because you could finally afford it. Eating out more, because you deserved it after working so hard. Weekend trips. A car payment that was a little bigger than before. Subscriptions that you kept meaning to cancel but never did. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is one of the most insidious, invisible wealth destroyers in America. It feels completely rational in the moment. Of course you should upgrade your apartment when you can afford a better one. Of course you should treat yourself after a raise. Of course you should enjoy the fruits of your hard work. There's nothing wrong with spending money on things that bring you joy. The problem is when your spending grows at exactly the same rate as your income, or faster. When that happens, no matter how much money you make, you never actually get ahead. You just live an increasingly expensive version of broke. And the data proves this is exactly what's happening. Americans who earn between $75,000 and $100,000 per year, 40% of them still live paycheck to paycheck. Think about that. A $90,000 salary is nearly double the median household income in America, and 40% of people earning that still can't make it to the next payday. It gets worse. Americans earning over $100,000 per year, 28% of them still live paycheck to paycheck. Nearly 1 in 3 people earning 6 figures, struggling every single month. You know what this tells us. Income is not the problem. The relationship between income and spending is the problem. There's a concept in personal finance called the hedonic treadmill. It basically says that humans are wired to adapt to whatever level of comfort and pleasure they have, and then immediately start wanting more. You get the apartment upgrade and within 3 months it just feels normal, so you want a bigger one. You get the car upgrade and within 6 months it's just your car, so you want a nicer one. The treadmill never stops unless you intentionally step off of it. The wealthy people I want you to model are not the ones who spend lavishly. Look up the research from the book, The Millionaire Next Door, by Thomas Stanley. He surveyed actual millionaires across America, not celebrities, not tech billionaires, but regular American millionaires with net worths over $1 million. And what he found shocked most people. The majority of millionaires in America live in modest homes. They drive used cars. They clip coupons. They have never owned a boat. They don't wear expensive watches. From the outside, you would not know they were wealthy, because they built wealth by consistently spending less than they earned for decades. So here is your fix. And it's one of the simplest and most powerful habits in personal finance. Pay yourself first. Set up an automatic transfer at your bank to happen the same day your paycheck lands. Start with 10% if you can, even 5% if that's what's realistic right now. The key is that it happens automatically, without you having to make a decision, because willpower is not a reliable financial strategy. And when you get your next raise, do this immediately. Increase your automatic savings rate by half the raise. If your take-home pay goes up by $200 a month, automatically direct $100 of that into saving. You get to enjoy the other $100 guilt-free. This way, every raise you ever get automatically improves both your lifestyle and your financial future simultaneously. You win twice every time you earn more. I need you to understand something about credit cards that the card companies spend hundreds of millions of dollars every year hoping you never figure out. Credit cards are not a payment tool. They are a profit machine, and you are the raw material. The credit card industry in America generates over $130 billion in revenue per year. Let me do that math for you right now. The average credit card interest rate today is 27.65% APR. The average American household credit card balance is $7,951. So let's say you have $8,000 in credit card debt at 27% interest, and you pay $200 a month. Here is what actually happens. It takes you 5 years and 7 months to pay off that $8,000, and over those 5.5 years, you pay $5,967 in interest alone. So you borrowed $8,000, and you pay back nearly $14,000. The credit card company made $6,000 off of your $8,000 debt. They nearly doubled their money. Off your struggle, off your stress, off your $1.47 in the bank Monday mornings. And the truly evil genius of the system is the minimum payment. Every month your credit card statement shows you a minimum payment. Maybe it's $25, maybe it's $35. It feels manageable. It feels responsible. You paid your bill. You're fine. You are not fine. If you only make minimum payments on an $8,000 balance at 27% interest, it takes you over 30 years to pay it off, and you pay more than $20,000 in interest on $8,000 over 3 decades of your life. This is not accidental. The minimum payment is deliberately designed to keep you in debt as long as possible, paying as much interest as possible, so the credit card company extracts maximum profit from you for maximum time. Now, I'm not saying never use a credit card. Credit cards have real benefits: fraud protection, cash back rewards, travel points, building your credit score. But there is one absolute, non-negotiable rule that separates people who benefit from credit cards from people who are destroyed by them. Pay your balance in full every single month. Every month. No exceptions. If you cannot pay your balance in full, you are spending money you don't have. And that's the trap. Once you're in it, here is exactly how to get out. List every single debt you have right now. Write down the name of the account, the current balance, the minimum monthly payment, and the interest rate. Put them in order from highest interest rate to lowest. Now, every month, you pay the minimum on every account except the one at the top of your list, the highest interest rate card. Every single extra dollar you can find goes toward that card. Every side hustle dollar, every birthday money, every tax refund, every dollar above the minimums on every other account. The moment that card is paid to zero, you take the full payment amount you were paying on it and add it entirely to the next card on the list. And you keep going. This is the debt avalanche method, and it is mathematically the fastest way to get out of debt while paying the least possible interest. There's also the debt snowball method, where you pay off the smallest balance first instead of the highest interest first. It's not as efficient mathematically, but it gives you faster psychological wins. If you need motivation to stay on track, the snowball works great. Pick whichever one you'll actually stick to. One more thing. Call your credit card company right now and ask them to lower your interest rate. Seriously, just call the number on the back of your card and say, "I've been a customer for X years and I've been paying on time. I'd like to request a reduction in my interest rate." Studies show that 69% of people who ask for a lower rate receive one. It takes 5 minutes and costs nothing. Just ask. I want you to think about the last time something unexpected went wrong in your financial life. Your car needed a repair, a medical bill showed up, your hours got cut, the washing machine broke, the dog got sick and the vet bill was $600. What did you do? If you're like most Americans, you put it on a credit card because you had no other choice. You had no emergency fund, no financial cushion, no buffer between your normal life and a financial crisis. And here is what happens next. You put that $1,200 car repair on the credit card. Now you have $1,200 in new credit card debt at 27% interest. You were already tight on money, so you can only afford to pay a little above the minimum. That $1,200 starts accruing interest. The following month, the AC unit in your apartment breaks and your landlord says it's your responsibility. Another $400 on the card. Now you owe $1,600 and you're paying more in minimum payments every month, which means you have even less cash available. So when your kid needs a new pair of glasses, $250, that goes on the card too. Within 3 months, you've gone from zero credit card debt to $2,000 in debt, all because of legitimate, unavoidable expenses. You were not irresponsible. You were just unprotected. 56% of Americans cannot cover an unexpected $1,000 expense without borrowing. And that vulnerability creates a debt spiral that is very hard to escape once you're in it. The emergency fund is the single most important first step in your financial recovery. This is what Dave Ramsey calls baby step 1. And it is genius in its simplicity. Not $10,000, not 3 months of expenses, not a fully funded emergency account, $1,000. That's it. Just get there first. This video is going to be quite long. Therefore, please leave a comment. If you liked the video even a little bit, we will bring out the next part. Thank you, and have a nice day.